Vivo says that their newest phone release is camera-centric. In this video, we're checking out the Vivo X50 to see just what's new with the cameras and what it can do. Good morning, you beautiful people! Welcome to LAZADA's Tech, where we do tech in your real life in style. So, Vivo has a new line of phones, the Vivo X50 line. And people who've tried some of the phones have not stopped talking about the new gimbal technology. It's honestly pretty cool and I've been wanting to try it out, but that is not this video. In this video, we're checking out the Vivo X50, and yes, it's part of that new Vivo line. No, it doesn't have that new gimbal tech. Okay, let's backtrack. So there are actually three phones in the new Vivo X50 line. The Vivo X50, this phone, the Vivo X50 Pro, and a Vivo X50 Pro Plus. Just really quickly and for comparison purposes for this video, I'm gonna be talking about only two of them, the Vivo X50 and the Vivo X50 Pro. Also because in the Philippines, and it's seeming like in a lot of places in the world where they're releasing this line, they're only releasing the Vivo X50 and the Vivo X50 Pro, or at least there's just still no news about the X50 Pro Plus releases, but yeah. So the main differences between the Vivo X50 and the Vivo X50 Pro. First off, and like I mentioned earlier, the new gimbal tech is not available on the Vivo X50 versus the Vivo X50 Pro that has it. Both phones though feature a 48 megapixel main shooter and a quad camera setup on the back, although the Vivo X50 does not have a zoom camera. Instead, it has a macro shooter versus the X50 Pro, which has a zoom camera. 2. This Vivo X50 does not have a curved display, and that's versus the curved display that can be found on the Vivo X50 Pro. And 3. This has a slightly smaller battery, like 115 milliamp less than the Vivo X50 Pro. But as for the 5G capable processor, the size, and the selfie cameras, they're all the same. Now that we have that covered, the question becomes, is the Vivo X50 still worth it despite it not having that gimbal technology that Vivo has been championing for this new line? Let's unbox to find out. The Vivo X50, folks. Vivo on the side, Vivo on the back here. It tells us that this is the frost blue version. Let's open it up. Ooh, that looks nice. Maybe it's because boxes like this remind me of chocolate, and opening a box of chocolate is always great. And well, also Forrest Gump says you never know what you're gonna get, so yeah. Ooh, look at that presentation. Right, this is the phone, but let's see what else is in the box first. We have this cutout, which tells us that the camera module is, a rectangle. Power brick. Ooh, what is this? Okay, nothing. It's just a piece of cardboard. Earphones. So we have earphones. And then that is a dongle, you guys. Jelly case, of course. SIM eject tool. And all the paperwork. I'm not even gonna open that. Power cord. That is a USB-C. Right, time for the phone. Up top here it says don't block the proximity sensor and ambient light sensor. So I guess, yeah, that is where that's at. At the bottom here it says fingerprint scanner, and it's really nice. It sort of comes full circle. I remember covering my very first MWC, and that was where Vivo dropped the bombshell that they built the world's first fingerprint scanner. So yeah, and now we're here. Wow, I did not expect this bright, nice color. Okay, I'm getting excited. Here it shows us two SIM slots, and it says read carefully before inserting card. And at the bottom there are tips to not damage the device, so that's useful. Thanks. And you can see the color of the phone shine through the plastic here. Wow, that looks nice. I mean, I thought this was gonna be like way bluer, but it's not. Almost an iridescent color. I love this. I love this. I like this. So I'm not sure if that's glass, but that could be glass. I mean, the thing with phones now is that I get so confused if they're glass or not glass, because they have this plastic material that's glass but sort of feels way lighter. So looks good though, and it feels nice. That feels like a very solid phone too. It feels solid. It's not too heavy, but it's not cheap feeling, or it's not too light. On the back you can see that 4-cam setup, a flash, and I think this is the camera with a gimbal on it. Yeah, so when I shot this unboxing, I didn't realize that this phone did not have the gimbal tech. So no, it does not have the gimbal tech. In fact, even the Vivo X50 Pro Plus, the third one, the one phone that we didn't talk about at the start of this video, does not have the gimbal tech. So in short, only the Vivo X50 Pro has it. Would have been cool if all phones had the gimbal tech, but yeah, let's move on. Okay, Vivo, I think this phone is one of my favorites when it comes to looks. There is a tiny bump here, nothing serious. We have volume rocker, unlock button. At the bottom, speaker grills, USB-C port. I think that's a mic, and the SIM tray. We have a clean left side. Up top, that's actually flat. Here, written ever so slightly, it says professional photography. Right, it's time to power it up. One thing though, this phone isn't the version with a curved screen, as you can see. Let's turn it on, because you know what is next, you guys. It's time for a montage. Right, here we go. And wow, that was quick. That was face unlock for you. But this phone also has a fingerprint scanner on the display. Just a quick look at the interface. Right. Let's do the camera tour. So first off, we have the main shooter, and as you can see, it automatically says enable portrait. There's AI working in the background, and it recognizes that it's pointed at a person, me, and that gives you the option to switch to portrait mode. So let's go back. From here, we can do 1x, 2x, and up until, whoop, that is 20x, and I can now make out the titles for those books. For context, this is where those books are. Again, I am pointing it at a mirror, so those are the books behind me over here. So what's very unique to Vivo phones is that at the bottom right here, you can switch between like the lenses you're using. So this is their super wide angle, and then you have the bokeh mode, basically that blur in the background. You have the option to switch the bokeh. This is 0.95, so that's a very creamy bokeh, and then you can do up until an aperture of 16, which basically means no bokeh. And then finally you have the super macro mode, which as you can see is still focusing despite like having a different distance. Usually macro modes give you a focusing distance, but this tells me that the camera is adjusting, so that's good. And then to get back to your main shooter, all you need to do is X out here and you're back. So up top you have options for the flash, and you have HDR settings, you have filters. So there are a couple here, and you can toggle intensity. That's good. Portrait light effect, which is basically a number of filters or effects that work with your portrait or bokeh mode. You have sizing here. On the right side, we have video. Hey, so that's 1x, 2x, and again, that is zooming in, but this time around it's only up till 10x. You can see the books behind me. For context, those are the books. Again, on this mode, you can toggle around the lenses and it only has super wide angle on video. There's also a beauty mode here, so different options: buffing, skin tone, whitening, body beauty mode, basically slimming or shaping, sculpting. Now, like I always say, like the beauty mode is great and I enjoy it. It's sort of like makeup. I use it to enhance what I already have, but it doesn't mean that you should feel like there's something wrong with a normal, real, imperfect you. There's nothing wrong with that. And then from here, you also have flash settings. That is a fill light option. Different filters. You have an ultra stable mode that slightly crops in. You see the difference? A smart zooming mode. Ooh, sort of crops in and zooms. And if I take a video, that is the shot. So look at how our framing looks versus the framing of the video I just took. It cropped in. Let's get into the settings. Now here it shows you a bunch of different settings. This allows for focusing on different things. Like for example, you have auto eye focus, left eye, right eye. It's very specific. Nice. You can even customize eye autofocus. Also, there is an option to do focus on the body and an object autofocus function, which allows for you to track certain objects you select on video. Okay, this is pretty interesting. There is an option for makeup for men, and I like this because a lot of the times I like using like beauty filters for video. Guys don't like how the beauty filters look on their faces, so in theory, this phone will recognize if you're shooting a guy and it won't apply the beauty mode on them if you toggle this setting. That's very thoughtful. I like that. And then as you can see here, you have video up until 4K. So you can shoot up until 30 FPS on 4K, because if you switch it to 60, it turns to 720. Can we do 1080? 60? Yes. Going down along the list, there's also 3D sound tracking, which is what I'm assuming similar to sound zooms, meaning it sort of tracks the sound for better recording. Right, that's a lot. Ooh, look, that is the focus. That's a lot of video features on this phone. Nice. Let's check out what else is here. So you have 48 megapixel shooter. You also have the pano mode, live photo mode, slow-mo. There is even a time-lapse mode, the pro mode, ISO settings of like 50 to 3200. You have shutter settings of 1/12,000 and 32 seconds, white balance settings, autofocus settings, and of course the ability to switch around from super wide angle to telephoto to, well, the normal main shooter. We also have AR stickers, which is something I always love. Oh, these are cute. And then we have Juvie Vision, a document scanner, always really useful on phones. You have a fixed macro mode. What else? You have a pro sports mode, which I can only assume is like a quick focus mode. Yeah. So moving on to the other side of the camera, let's go to portrait mode. So it says here, shoot subject. What did it say? I didn't catch that. Shoot subject within 0.5 to 2.5 meters for best results. You have 1x, hey, and you can see my background is looking pretty good. There's a bokeh going on right there. 2x here. Can we zoom in? No more zooming in or out. It's only 1x or 2x. You can toggle between different bokeh settings from 0.95 to 16, which is basically no bokeh. So here, if you notice, what we can find on the side isn't the option to change the lenses, but different settings. That's a bokeh right there. You have a beauty mode, and I love this. It gives you different settings for male or female. So it says so there under gender. But quick trivia, sex is different from gender. Sex pertains to like biological attributes or the parts that you were born with. Meanwhile, gender is like the sex you identify with. It's a long, very nuanced conversation, but like, yeah, just putting that out there, that might be something you want to read about, because, you know, other settings include buffing, skin tone, whitening, thin face. That is a lot. You have posture. Okay, this is very interesting, something specific to Vivo phones. We've seen this before, but basically it gives you different poses. So this is the pose right there, and you can see that there is an outline that you can follow, and that just like makes for, in theory, better posing, better photos. And then you also have style here, which it gives you certain filters. Okay, I have to say that I am really impressed so far because we've only gone through like video and portraits, and there are a lot of settings and features on here. Right, moving on to the night mode, you can toggle between lenses here, super wide angle, or the main shooter 1x, 2x, and zoom up until 20x. Here you also have like a tripod thing, so I'm guessing that is a tripod mode. And then you also have style, black and blue eye. So those are filters, but it also shows you a preview of what those filters could look like. I like that they put in different filter selections for different modes. I'm assuming those are the filters that work best for each specific mode. The selfies now. So this is the selfie night mode. Can we zoom in or out? No zooming in or out, but there is a beauty option. So again, those different settings. On portrait mode, so on portrait mode, we have, of course, the bokeh settings is 16, so the back isn't blurred, but at an aperture of 1, you can see the blur right there. You have the different beauty settings we've seen all throughout, but oh my gosh, a makeup mode. Ooh, that looks good. Look at that. I like this. Oh my gosh, wait. I can, I'm getting excited. You can further customize like each specific look. I am going through all these makeup selections and they look really good. I'm very particular because I don't know if you know this, guys, but sometimes I put makeup filters on the photos I've been taking, especially since it's lockdown and there's no way I am putting makeup on when I'm not leaving this house. So technology is the answer. This looks good because it actually looks natural, and if you feel like that's not natural enough, you can toggle intensity. And then you also have postures. There's also the style filters. There is a toggle for the makeup and the hue of the filter you're using. On photo, I mean, that's the typical photo. You can zoom in up until 2x. Ooh, it says please clean the lens. That is a nice added feature. Let me do that first. I'm not seeing the makeup filters. So it's looking like you can only do the makeup filters when you're on portrait mode. Okay. Video selfie, again, you have the beauty modes. Also, let's try out those different shutter settings. So there is a touch shutter, there is a voice shutter, and a palm shutter. Touch shutter allows for photos when you touch your screen. So secondly, the voice shutter, cheese. And finally, and this is my favorite way to take selfies, moving on, we go to the video mode. So you cannot zoom out, but you can zoom up until 2x, and then you have all the different settings here. So those are the different beauty modes, body slimming modes, but no makeup mode here. You can also shoot in 1080p. On the right, we have the same features. So yeah, that was it for our quick camera tour. Let's go and take some sample shots. All in all, the Vivo X50 is looking like a feature-packed phone, especially when it comes to video shooting and even those beauty modes. I honestly still love the makeup beauty mode. Like, right up my alley. Thank you. On point, man. It also doesn't hurt that this is one good-looking phone with specs that can stand on its own. Of course, it's just our first look at the phone, so let me know what you want to see, if you want a camera test, what your questions are about this device. comment down below. But yeah, that's it for today. Our first look, camera tour, and hands-on of the Vivo X50. Hopefully this video was able to clear out like what the differences are between the phone. If you want to see how I use my tech on a daily basis, you can find me online. That's at LAZADA. Until next time. Oh my god, are my eyes still swollen?